What happens when government decides it's going to try to stimulate the economy by creating jobs? Sure, it sounds great. Politicians on the campaign trail get to tell us about all the jobs they created for people here or there. Unfortunately, there are two big problems with government-created jobs. First, they destroy other jobs. And second, they're usually really inefficient.
America needs the money.
Right. Driving truckloads of money out into the New Mexico desert and dumping it into a massive pit is one of America's greatest traditions.
When government creates jobs, it also destroys jobs in the private sector. This really should be obvious, but so many people, especially in politics, don't seem to get it. Government does not have its own money. In order to create a job, government needs money. That means it needs to take money that once belonged to taxpayers or borrow it and force future taxpayers to pay it back, plus interest. Now, those taxpayers would have spent that money to start a business of their own, to expand existing business, or simply to buy something that makes their lives better, all of which creates and helps keep jobs. Simply put, every dollar that government uses to create a job is taken away from people who are already creating jobs through their investment and spending decisions. Jobs that are almost always better, more permanent, and that benefit far more people. Think of it this way. Someone buys you a present. Someone takes money out of your wallet to buy that present. So what happens when government decides that it needs to create jobs, taking money out of your wallet to tear up and repave a road that didn't really need fixing? That was money that you could have used to buy food, pay the mortgage, or get to work. Or maybe it was money that a business owner was going to use to expand. And you guessed it, create real private sector jobs. And then there's the fact that government's way of creating jobs isn't exactly the most efficient. This inefficiency manifests itself in several ways. First, there's the high cost for each job created. There are tons of examples of this, so here are just a couple. One of the projects from this recent stimulus bill was a makeover project for Brooklyn Bridge. $30 million in stimulus money was spent to save or create 150 jobs. That's $200,000 per job. Definitely not very efficient. Another stimulus project in Michigan created 1,000 jobs at a cost of $161,000 each. Politicians may be able to claim that they are creating jobs, but they cost a lot. If they raise taxes, they take money directly out of the hands of people who will spend the money much more efficiently. If they borrow the money, they'll have to pay it back eventually, which means they'll have to raise taxes eventually. And when they do, the bill will be even higher because of the interest on the debt they incurred when borrowing. And if they print the money, it takes money from all of us in the form of inflation and currency devaluation. In other words, you need more dollars tomorrow to buy the same stuff you bought today, all to create jobs that could have been created much more efficiently in the private sector. What's worse, a lot of times the jobs that get created are temporary. A certain amount of money is appropriated to create the job, and once that money goes away, so does the job. In order to keep it going, they have to tax, borrow, or print again and again and again and again. On the other hand, if a job in the private sector is successful in producing wealth, it provides something people want or need, that job can be around for years, even generations. Another form of government inefficiency takes the form of regional redistribution. Here's an example. Government takes tax dollars to create jobs weatherizing homes in Washington state. They're taking money away from people in Minnesota and Florida and everywhere else to pay for it. This means that a homeowner in New Jersey is paying to weatherize homes in Washington. Then there's also this. Why should taxpayers anywhere be asked to pay for things that homeowners should be taking care of themselves? And finally, there's pointlessness. Simply put, a lot of times, government creates jobs that do things that, well, things that nobody else wants done. Building a bridge to nowhere may benefit the 50 people on the island it goes to, but tens of thousands of people have to be deprived of hundreds of millions of dollars to do it. Or the people who get their homes weatherized, well, they're happy, but the rest of us, the people who paid for it, could have done lots of other great things with that money, including weatherizing our own homes. Bottom line, government can create a bunch of jobs of people smelling feet. But other than the 20 people that the project employs for 3 weeks, nobody cares.
Nobody cares, Sean. Nobody cares.
Politicians want us to believe that they're helping when they try to stimulate the economy by creating jobs, but don't believe the hype. All they're really doing is taking money and taxes or borrowing against our future prosperity to inefficiently and unfairly create jobs that do stuff no one wants done. And if you believe that's a good thing, I have some oceanfront property in Arizona to sell you.